The sun burned against the parade ground, boots striking the pavement in perfect unison. Rows of new Navy SEALs stood tall, their chests rising with pride. Families filled the bleachers, cheering, waving flags. But then everything stopped. A woman in dark glasses rose slowly from her seat, her cane trembling in her hand. She couldn't see her son, but when he spoke, her world shifted. But before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching this from? And if you love powerful, true stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. She was invisible to most. A mother in her 50s dressed in simple clothes, her dark glasses masking eyes that hadn't seen light in years. She held herself with quiet dignity, gripping her cane as if it were the last thread of balance in a world built on sound and memory. Beside her, other families leaned forward with cameras, craning for the perfect shot of their sons. No one paid her much attention. For many, she looked out of place among the polished uniforms and flashing smiles. But there was something unshakable about the way she sat, an aura of strength born from decades of sacrifice. The ceremony continued. The commanding officer's voice boomed, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the graduating class of Navy SEALs." The crowd roared. Mothers waved, fathers shouted, children jumped on their seats, but the woman in dark glasses sat still, lips trembling. She could not see her son march across that field. She had not seen his face since he was a boy. The crowd's joy cut her with silence. Then came the conflict. Two young men in the row behind whispered, "How sad. She won't even know which one's her kid." Another laughed. "What's the point of coming if she can't even see him?" The words stung like knives. But she stayed silent, hands tightening on her cane. The tension thickened. The commanding officer called for silence. "Graduates on my command, sound off." One by one, deep voices thundered, "Hoo-yah, sir!" Each sounded powerful, each filled with pride. Then halfway through, one voice rose above the rest. Firm, clear. A voice she had memorized through years of lullabies, bedtime stories, whispered promises before deployment. Her cane slipped from her grip. Her head lifted. And she cried out, "That's my son!" The parade ground froze. The officer halted the ceremony. Hundreds turned toward her. Soldiers stopped mid-step, recognition spread like fire. The graduates stood still, eyes darting to the woman in dark glasses. The officer's stern expression softened. "Ma'am, you know which one is yours?" Her chin quivered, but her voice did not waver. I'd know his voice anywhere. "He's mine!" Silence fell, but not out of doubt, out of awe. Her son, tears brimming in his eyes, broke formation. Against tradition, against strict ceremony, he marched forward straight toward her. The revelation swept through the crowd. This was no ordinary graduate. This was a son who had trained through blood and fire, pushing past limits only the bravest dared face. And he had done it with the strength of a mother who, though blind, had never once stopped seeing him with her heart. Their story was whispered by those who knew them. A childhood of hardship. A mother raising him alone after tragedy. Her sight lost to illness, but her faith unbroken. She had never seen him in uniform, never seen his proud stance as a warrior, but she had felt every ounce of his journey. He reached her. Without hesitation, he pulled her into his arms. The crowd erupted in thunderous applause, tears streaming down faces that moments ago had mocked. The young men who had whispered bowed their heads in shame. The officer stepped forward, his voice heavy with reverence. "Ladies and gentlemen, today we honor not just a SEAL, but the mother who gave him the courage to get here." The transformation was complete. The ceremony no longer belonged to protocol or tradition. It belonged to a blind mother who recognized her son's voice when the world doubted her. As the graduates saluted, the son held her hand high. Her smile radiated, unseen by her own eyes, but felt by everyone watching. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to remember that true vision comes from the heart, not the eyes, because heroes aren't only on the battlefield, sometimes they're sitting quietly in the crowd, waiting to hear the voice of their child.